now that it's October, I'm really feeling the mood of like Halloween and really thinking about like the nostalgia that comes with it and just being a kid and being a 90s kid that I am. Just kind of wanted to like really look into that. So I've been really on like a nostalgia kick of like old commercials and like stupid things that like Halloween, meant to me. And so I thought it'd be fun to like go through and like see some of those things. So I found this video about 13 reasons Halloween was better in the 90s. So I thought that would be a fun one. And then I got a bunch of other random like 90s 2000 Halloween commercials. So I feel like that would be like really, really funny to go through and really go down through memory lane. So
the 90s were arguably the best time for a kid to experience Halloween.
That's a big one that to be honest, I totally forgot about. Stickly? So wild. I used to remember the address that he would sing. It was like something about New York, 101 point. I forget what it was, but it was basically like the Stickly was like the afternoon host after Smile or what was this? Oh, Face. From Nick Jr. His name is Face. It was Face would finish with Nick Jr. and then we go right into Stickly, which was really fun. But anyway, which is just a popsicle stick, Halloween, which is so silly and so stupid. In honor of the days when pillowcases were packed with sour candy and the streets were brimming with trick-or-treating kids, we're highlighting 13 things we loved about Halloween in the 90s. Number 13, Double Double, Toil and Trouble. Double Double, Toil and Trouble was a 1993 Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. The movie is about two twins who discover that their great aunt, played by Cloris Leachman, has been trapped and cursed by her evil twin sister. The movie was nominated for an...
How's it going? Thank you for the raid. For those who are just tuning in, thank you so much for the raid, Ash. I really appreciate it. We're watching 13 Reasons Halloween Was Better in the 90s. I've been in a big nostalgia kick, so... what better way than with Mary-Kate and Ashley?
For its music, and Mary-Kate and Ashley won a Young Artist Award for their work in the film. Depending on your age, you probably regarded this movie as slightly scary or sort of stupid, but we're willing to bet that most kids that grew up in the 90s can recall it playing.
Oh, yeah. I have it on cloud for Xbox.
Number 12, Nick or Treat.
Oh, yes, Nick or Treat.
Nick or Treat was a Halloween special that aired on Nickelodeon every year from 1985 to 2002. In this primitive version of Trivia HQ, kids could call in and play a trick-or-treat game on the TV. They'd have 40 seconds to visit 6 houses by pressing numbers on their phone to open the doors. Some houses even featured monsters from Real Monsters. Not every house packed a prize, but the ones that did offered things like video games, toys, CDs, or the Nickelodeon pack, which was the biggest prize on the show and offered an assortment of gifts from different shows.
That's crazy.
Number 11, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
This I remember.
Scary Stories
this
to
book.
Tell in the Dark is a collection of 3 books.
Yes, it's on
by
PC
Alvin
Game Pass.
Schwartz and illustrated by Stephen Gammell. The stories themselves were primarily
these are
based
scary.
upon folklore and urban legends, but most would agree that it is Gammell's illustrations that made the trilogy so
terrifying.
special. Quite frankly, some of them are downright disturbing.
Yeah, they were scary. Does anyone remember these books? Absolutely terrifying. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was like absolutely, and I was a scaredy cat growing up. I still am a scaredy cat, but I now can find the joy in the scaredy catness of it all. But man, was that scary? I was not about it growing up.
Handful of images from the 82
That's
story
terrifying. Oh my god. No way.
Probably still
this is
burned
for kids. This is for kids. That's buck wild.
Of
no
countless
way.
90s kids. Some of the most haunting include The Red Spot, Harold, Sam's New Pet, and The Haunted House.
Is that a nipple?
Include The Red Spot, Harold.
No, that's a belly button. Sorry.
Sam's New Pet and The Haunted House. Predictably, the series was frequently opposed by parents groups and other critics, with the series being listed by the American Library Association as the most challenged series of books from the 90s.
100% Ash. I agree
the collection
with
has
you.
been called sick, repulsive, really disgusting, and not appropriate for children. This has led, also predictably, to increasing the appeal for riveted kids during their elementary school library time. In 2011, an edition of the...
Oh, I didn't know this. They made a newer version or a sequel, or... Oh, I'll let them talk, but the... I didn't know. It was a decapitated, like, zombie thing. A nipple could be down to there. It was like the skin could go down... Shh. It was a zombie. I feel like a zombie could have, like, anatomy that, like, was droopy and gross and, like, falling off the skin. It was also going, like, ah. I defend myself with that. But yeah, to be honest, like, I feel like, well, you think about it, like, the things changed. Like, Poppy Playtime and, like, Five Nights at Freddy's is a big thing now. So it's all about, like, the jump scares right now and, like, spooky lore. But it's not really necessarily, like, terrifying. I don't know, like, a different narrative and illustrations. No. Stop. No, keep going. You're totally convincing us. I think the zombie thing... All right, we're at 226. I'm going to defend myself. I know that I shouldn't, and I really should just move on, but because you said that, I have to defend myself.
And a handful of images from the 82 story collection
terrifying.
Are probably still burned into the consciousness of countless 90s kids. Some of the most haunting include the red spot, Harold.
So, like, it's a high-waisted jean. Here, okay. It's a high-waisted jean. Just think of, like, in the day, a high-waisted jean, and he's going like this. And so, and like, bleh. So that could have been a nipple. I think that could have been. I justified it.
Sam's new pet and the haunted house. Appeal for riveted kids during their elementary school library time. In 2011, an edition of the series was published with the new illustrations that paled in comparison, but subsequent versions have thankfully returned to the originals. A 2019 film produced by Guillermo del Toro was released to positive reviews.
Oh yeah, wasn't that like on Netflix?
Box office numbers. Number 10, And Then There Was Sean. Airing on February 27, 1998.
This is so good. The Halloween episode of Boy Meets World. Chef's kiss.
This episode in Boy Meets World's 5th season was a departure from the show's typical tone. It was essentially a short, surrealist
that's good to know, and welcome in Irish.
To many horror movies,
Ash is always good at collecting
1996's
people.
Scream.
Yes.
This included guest star Jennifer Love Hewitt from the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise, who appeared in the episode as Jennifer Love Pfefferman. The episode's dark storyline both frightened and intrigued young viewers who were surprised to witness the on-screen deaths of their favorite sitcom characters. Despite this, the episode is now regarded as one of the series' best, and some call it the best Halloween episode.
It's so good.
Show. Number 9, McDonald's Halloween Buckets. McDonald's Halloween Buckets were originally released in the 80s, but they received a makeover for the 90s.
This is so good.
With the purchase of a Happy Meal, they became the vessel of choice for many trick-or-treating kids.
I had so many of those.
The decade saw several versions, and there were a few years that skipped the buckets altogether. The most famous lineup included the McWitch, McBoo, and a glow-in-the-dark McGhost. One year even included cookie cutters in the lids for making treats at home. In the latter...
Hold up. This was so good. They were great decoration. Although, no. You can't go trick-or-treating with this. You had to... It was all about the pillowcase. Because the pillowcase gave you much more room to get your candy. So you had to bring a pillowcase so you could have optimal capacity for candy. That was the big thing. I really like these buckets. They were really cool.
Ghost. One year even included...
I didn't know this. The cookie cutter, so it always had a lid, which was, I was like, what do you do with the lid? I was like, oh, I guess you just put candy through the lid. I did not know that. A cookie cutter lid, which I feel like it's a lie. I had no idea that these were cookie cutter.
Buckets featured full Halloween scenes instead of specific characters.
Oh,
while these symbols of the season continued in some form
the faces.
Into the 2010s,
Those are really cool.
McDonald's hasn't offered them since 2016.
Oh, that's a shame.
Number 8, Scream. Scream is an American slasher film and follows a teenage girl who becomes the target of a mysterious killer that wears the now popular Ghostface mask. The film features many satires of classic horror movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th.
I actually have never seen Scream.
What made the film distinct was its self-referential humor. The characters were fully aware of existing horror movie cliches and discussed them openly. Scream was very well received and subsequently became the highest-grossing slasher film for more than 2 decades. It received many nominations.
I've never seen them. I feel like I really am missing out with them.
Revitalizing horror. Its cult status inspired 3 more movies, although only the second one was successful. It also led to a 3-season TV series on MTV.
I did see a few episodes of that.
In development with a target release date of January 2022.
Oh.
Number 7. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Are You Afraid of the Dark was a Canadian TV show that played on Nick from 1991 to 1996 and has probably inspired millions of nightmares since its debut.
I was about to say, I was too afraid to watch this.
Claw premiered on October 25th, 1991 as part of Nick's Halloween programming. The show revolved around a group of teenagers known as the Midnight Society. Every episode featured a member of the society telling a different story around the campfire at night. Storylines included urban legends, the paranormal, fairy tales, and more. Each episode began with a member who's telling the story saying, "Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this story," and then whatever the story was named. The phrase "submitted for the approval"
Oh, yeah. So when they took that sand and they throw it into the fire, like a color would pop up, like a different color would pop up. And rumor is that it was actually just Kool-Aid. So they would just throw Kool-Aid into the fire, and that's why the fire turned into certain colors. At least that's what I was told as a kid, and what like was around the school was like, oh, did you know, blah, 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 blah.
Approval was thrown in as a tribute to Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone. The storyteller would then throw midnight dust on the fire,
midnight dust,
produce flames and white smoke. What was the magic dust? Non-dairy coffee creamer.
Oh!
VHS copies of Are You Afraid of the Dark were released in 1994 and 1995,
Interesting.
and a PC game was released in 1994. There were also board games and books inspired by the TV show. There have been several revivals since the original series,
I didn't know there's a
including
point and
miniseries
click,
which premiered in October of 2019 and was just renewed for a second season.
Oh, that would be fun
There's
to
also
play as a point and click.
Paramount movie, which was unfortunately canceled. Number 6. Count Chocula and Frankenberry cereals. General Mills first released their monster cereal line in 19...
Yes. Absolutely. As a child, more. Give me sugar, give me chocolate, give me the berries. The berries are the best part. I'm not a big chocolate person, but the like very berry kicks were my jam. So when they made the Frankenberry cereal, where it's just berries, yes please, thank you.
1971, each featuring a different classic movie monster. In the 90s, there were 4. Count Chocula was chocolate flavored, and Frankenberry was strawberry flavored. Blueberry was, yeah, you guessed it, blueberry flavored, and Fruity Yummy Mummy featured a general fruit flavor.
Yummy Mummy. I don't remember Yummy Mummy.
While the monster cereals were initially offered year
I remember these two. These are the big ones I remember.
Around. Since 2010, they have only been manufactured and distributed around Halloween time. Number 5, Casper.
Oh, Casper was good.
Universal's Casper premiered in 1995, and it featured special effect technology that was cutting edge at the time.
I feel like it was very ahead of its time.
It was the first movie that used a fully CGI character in its lead role. In fact, Casper used more CG shots than the entirety of the movie Jurassic Park. The film, which took a darker tone than the Casper the Friendly Ghost cartoon that inspired it, received mixed reviews. Some praised it for its faithfulness to the source material, while others criticized its humor and dark tone. Overall, it made $287 million on a $55 million budget, and it inspired many follow-up films and even an animated series, The Spooktacular New Adventures of Casper. Oddly, a theatrical sequel never came to fruition due to a lackluster response to the rushed direct-to-video follow-ups. Number 4, Halloweentown.
I mean, are you kidding me? Halloweentown? Yes, please. That and Hocus Pocus are like the things. I like Halloweentown.
Is a 1998 Disney Channel original movie that starred Kimberly J. Brown and Debbie Reynolds. It is the first installment in what would become a 4-film series. The movie is about a 13-year-old girl named Marnie who discovers that her estranged grandmother is a witch who lives in a fantastical world.
Is there a new Hocus Pocus? I didn't know that. Oh, I did not. When did it come out?
Called Halloweentown, with all sorts of paranormal, monster, and
Oh
fairy
yeah, the
tale
cat.
creatures. Marty follows her mother to Halloweentown to begin her own witch training, and together with her family, they end up saving the town from the evil Mayor Calabar.
Oh,
One magazine
right.
rated the film as number 9 on its 40 best Disney Channel original movies list.
As
the
it
original
should be.
movie was filmed in Oregon and has since developed a cult-like following, leading to a month-long festival celebrating the film each year in St. Helens,
That's
the main
fun.
shooting location. The celebration typically features costume contests,
I love
haunted
that.
houses, and even special appearances and panels with actors from the film. Number 3.
Oh, before I move on, it just came out a week ago. It's actually pretty good. Oh, is it on Disney Plus? I will definitely have to check that out. That sounds really fun. I do love me some Halloweentown. Mcnugget Buddies. These things were so... They were so stupid. They were just McNuggets. They were just like little tiny McNuggets, but they were just dressed up in like costumes. I loved them. I don't know why. I always wanted to collect all of them. Yes, it's on Disney Plus. Nice. I will definitely have to check that out.
Mcnugget Buddies. The Mcnugget Buddies just might be the most popular McDonald's Happy
Welcome
Meal
back,
toy
Ash.
of all time. While an original set was introduced in 1988, it was the Halloween sets of 1992 and 1996.
I feel like
that
I
are most
had a
remembered.
bunch of
Each
Halloween
set included a potato-shaped
costume
McNugget Buddy and
nuggets.
a costume to dress them up in. The popularity of the toys was reinforced with a series of TV commercials where the buddies were portrayed
I remember
by
the
lovable little
puppets.
chicken nugget puppets. Yes, I just said chicken nugget puppets. Number 2, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, how could
Tim
you
Burton's
forget?
The Nightmare Before
So
Christmas
good.
came out in 1993 and has since become a Halloween
Wait,
classic. This
hold
stop-motion
up.
animated film follows Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's the same font as Muppet Treasure Island. I know I'm such a bad... in video games, I am a bad driver. However, in real life, very good driver. Thank you very much.
Came out in 1993 and has since become a Halloween classic. This stop-motion animated film follows Jack Skellington.
I love
who leaves
this
his
game.
home of
I'm sorry,
and
this
becomes obsessed
movie.
with
This
Christmas
movie.
after he wanders into Christmastown. Burton
I actually went to a concert where it was a Tim Burton, Danny Elfman concert with the New York Philharmonic. And so the first act was all like his movies. I mean, the one that I was super excited about was like Batman, that theme song that Danny Elfman made, and then the second half was like a full performance of Halloween. The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was so cool. And Danny Elfman came and performed as Jack Skellington. It was like one of the coolest experiences I ever did. Good. How about you? No complaints. Things have been going great. So nice to hear.
Originally considered releasing the story as a children's book or a short film before it became a full-length feature. An integral
it did
part
come
of the
out
film
as a
is the
picture
music,
book first,
composed by
though.
Danny Elfman, who also provides the singing voice for Jack. During its filming peak, 20 individual stages were used simultaneously.
That's so cool.
And in total, there
I love...
were 109,440 frames taken for the film.
So
227
fascinating.
different puppets were used in all, and Jack alone employed around 400 different heads to make him
Wild.
extremely expressive. Disney originally released the film under Touchstone Pictures because the studio thought that it would be too dark and scary for kids. Later, it was re-released under Walt Disney Pictures, and it became the first stop-motion movie to be fully converted
I did see it in 3D. I saw it in like 2007, I want to say, or 2008. No, 8 or 7. Is it awful? I was dating someone, and so I know exactly. It's either 8 or 7. 2008 or 2007 when the 3D I think it was 3D IMAX it came out. It was super cool. I really enjoyed it. That's actually the first time I ever saw Nightmare Before Christmas. So I didn't see it growing up because my mom was like, "Ugh, I don't want to watch this." So then I saw it as like a teenager and thought, I was like, "Oh wow, this is so cool." Like, why didn't I know about this when it first came out?
Achieved cult status, and its characters can now be seen annually in the Disney parks, in the seasonal Haunted Mansion overlay, as well as Disney World's Halloween Spectacular, which is hosted by Jack. Number 1, Hocus Pocus. Of course.
I mean, I actually just I was in the city, or I was downtown, and they had like a premiere green carpet, I think it was, instead of a red carpet. I don't know, it was some spook, like they were trying to do some spooky, but it was a red carpet of the Hocus Pocus 2. So that was interesting to see.
Of course, Hocus Pocus is going to be number one. The film premiered in 1993 and was directed by Kenny Ortega, who also directed High School Musical and Newsies and choreographed Dirty Dancing, Pretty in Pink, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The story is about three witches, played by Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, who are resurrected on Halloween night in Salem, Massachusetts by a teenage boy. The film's original working title was Halloween House, and it was initially pitched to Steven Spielberg, but he refused the project as he saw Disney as a competitor to his own production company, Amblin. The movie was originally going to be much scarier and darker, and Leonardo DiCaprio was originally offered the lead role of Max, but he would have been so good as Max. Gilbert Grape. Most of production took place on a soundstage in Burbank, California, but some scenes were actually filmed on location in Salem with the core cast. The film was not successful upon release, and Disney actually lost approximately $16.5 million on it. However, annual airings on Freeform and the Disney Channel have led it to become a cult classic and an essential part of many families' Halloween celebrations. Bette Midler referred to the movie as the most fun I'd had in my career up to that point. For Hocus Pocus fans, there's good news. A sequel is currently in development for the Disney Plus streaming service, and the three leads have all confirmed that they will be participating in the film. A release date and director have yet to be announced.
That's crazy that a Halloweentown and a Hocus Pocus just came out.
The top 13 things we loved about Halloween in the 90s. I get
that. With the zombie dude, right, I always confuse Halloweentown and Hocus Pocus. Oh no. What's the one with the mouth that's sewn up, that, and then they had to like slit it and so that it could talk. That's Hocus Pocus, right? I always they kind of mix at certain points.
If you think we missed anything, please let us know in the comments. And special thanks goes out to Miriam Merrill and Kian Dowdy for making this video possible.
You know what's so cute? I have to find a picture of this, but my mom loves Winnie the Pooh.
As we relived the top 13
I
things
am
we loved about
100% like, there's a picture of me, little Bubba Benny, little Boo Boo Benny, little Boo Boo Benny Bear as Winnie the Pooh. And I'm dressed up in a onesie, you know, just walking around with the ears and the red shirt. Little Boo Boo Benny Bear, dressed up as Winnie the Pooh Bear.
Halloween in the 90s. If you think we missed anything, please let us know in the comments. And special thanks goes out to Miriam Merrill and Kian Dowdy for making this video possible.